Arsenal fans are going to want trophies. And it's going to become a trophy game.
This will hurt them, seeing Man City lift the trophy. Welcome to the Inside Scoop. This is a show where me and my boy Culture Cams discuss everything football related, from results, managers, and just the genuine feel of the game. It's only right that we start with the game that happened yesterday, Arsenal against Chelsea. Now, for many reasons, this game was a very important game for Arsenal, obviously, to continue their chance of winning the league, and obviously Chelsea needed a win. We both watched the game. What was your views of the game, especially how Chelsea played and how Arsenal, got the win?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of Arsenal fans will be thinking, why now?
It's been a long time.
You know what I mean? Why now? You know what I mean? Why now? And like, to be fair, to start with, like, I was surprised to see Arteta start Kiwior, because a lot of Arsenal fans were calling for Kiwior to start because they were saying, we can still play that front foot kind of football that we do with Saliba.
Yeah.
But only thing is he's left footed as well. So it's like, can he play RCB? And Arteta pretty much said no, you know what I mean, in terms of that suggestion. And then to go and start him in the game, which kind of, the title feels like it's gone now.
It's gone. It's gone. Yeah.
It's gone. So to then start him and then for him to have a good performance. Yes, this Chelsea team's terrible. They've only scored one goal in Lampard's spell or whatever. But he looked good. And it makes you think they could have probably played more of that style with him in the team. So I think just to start with, I see a lot of disappointed Arsenal fans in Arteta in that situation, because I kind of don't get it. Like, do you get it? Because of course, you don't want to scapegoat Holding here, but that was the weak link, And Haaland exposed that, and many teams were trying to play towards that. And then to just put Kiwior in the game that kind of means nothing, and he plays well. In hindsight, you're looking at it like, could he have played and potentially at least got one win against Southampton or West Ham? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in hindsight, I definitely felt it was a bit strange. I think with Holding, probably experience is the reason why Arteta's picked him and stuff. Yeah, but to throw him into a time of the season where you genuinely need to win every single game, there's not a lot of like luxury that Arsenal probably had prior to City mounting a proper title charge. So I think it was a bit weird. But then why it's probably worked out against him in terms of how the fans are viewing it is that he played really well. And he literally nullified every chance that Chelsea even had. They had, bar the goal, they had nothing. So I think for me, Arteta definitely has a lot of players that he hasn't used. I think the fact that, Trossard hasn't played a lot of games, for me.
Arsenal's player of the month in March, didn't start a game in April.
Yeah, and then Reece Nelson has been a revelation every time he's come off the bench. I was at Emirates for the Nottingham Forest game. I think Saka came off a bit injured, came on and scored 2 goals. So there's players that, I think Arteta could have used, but I don't think we would have been saying this if Arsenal were winning all their games. I think it's circumstantial. But there was some good performances from Arsenal. I think Jesus was really good. I think he does that a lot in terms of his running ability and running in between the lines and stuff, but goal scoring probably hasn't been the main thing for him, and that's probably why they've suffered. Do you feel like right now with Arsenal that it's basically just paving the cracks and it's like damage limitation right now with any win that they get from now on?
Look, all Arsenal can do is win their games. At this stage of the season now, we know they've bottled it. You know what I mean? We know they put themselves in a bad position. Man City, once they sniff blood, it's more time, it's game over. But all they can do is win their games, bro. So I like what they're doing in terms of, okay, cool, we've made them errors, let's just go out and win. But the only thing that's scary for them now is that they've got Newcastle away next.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Yeah,
that's not looking good.
Everyone understands with me, I'm a proper Arsenal hater, yeah. but that's not down to the team. I think it's more the fan base and banter aside. But I definitely believe that, like, with Arsenal right now, they're facing the hardest thing that they've ever done throughout the whole season. And the form has gone down the window. Yeah. Confidence has gone down the window. However, this is a massive, massive win. In football, anything can happen. Yeah. City could drop points. Obviously, it's not looking likely, but for now, I think this is a good win for them. Even though it was against a Chelsea team that is definitely deflated. They don't even look like they've ever played a training session together at all. It just looks a whole mess, innit? So my view is that this is not even their hardest game. They had to win against Southampton. They had to win against West Ham. Those games are more important.
Those two are unforgivable.
They're very unforgivable. Like Liverpool, for me, I don't think that's a...
Liverpool at Anfield.
It's Anfield.
Okay.
You know what it's like when you go there.
You're fine.
But everything else has just been... It's been the mentality. I think... When you compare Man City to Arsenal, a lot of things is experience. Many of those players have been in those positions before. where I feel like Arsenal lost the league or threw it away was against Southampton. Not just because they drew, but the responses after the final whistle. Everybody went down. As a Man City player, if I'm looking at that, I'm like, we got them.
Jesus after the match said, he said, you know, we're the young team and we ain't been in this
excuses
position and
now.
Stuff. There we go.
Excuses now.
Exactly. And then I saw Reece Nelson himself. I saw him post something like, "Keep believing." I was like, these guys. I mean,
they're not singing from they're not singing from the same hymn sheet. That's what it is.
Once you start hearing "keep believing" and all that type of stuff in a title race, you start getting a little bit worried, in my opinion. So I think you made a good point in terms of course, it comes down to the experience. Have you been there? Let's not forget, the players haven't been there, but the manager hasn't either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, he's been part of a winning camp because he was with Pep Guardiola and stuff at Man City, but he hasn't been in this position. And there's times we've seen some of his subs in the last 4 games. Well, the 4 games that they didn't win. We've seen some of the subs. We've seen him go to the Etihad and think he can play his style against them. When Pep Guardiola respected them enough to change his own style to match them. But he thought he could go to the Etihad and play his own way and win. And it was boys versus men in that situation. So as you mentioned, they got KDB, they got John Stones, they got
Bernardo Silva,
seasoned winning. Bernardo Silva, Mahrez is sitting on the bench. These are seasoned winners. So look, Arsenal can be proud of their season. In context, you're going to be disappointed 100% because you're almost there. You were leading the title race for 93% of the season. 93%. It's never been seen before.
Yeah.
To lose the title is unreal. But they can still at the same time be proud of what they're doing. But this summer, they can't take their foot off the gas.
No, not
and
at
this
all.
is where the Arsenal fans are going to start looking at Edu and all this stuff. Go and get the Declan Rice that you're linked with. Go and get another striker because Jesus clearly doesn't score enough goals. Go and get another midfielder so you're not having to bring on Fabio Vieira. Go and get another centre-back so you're not relying on Saliba to carry the whole season. That is what Arsenal need to go and do next season because it's Champions League next year.
Yeah, and it's a different ball game.
You see this year, it was bigger fish to fry. We got bigger fish to fry. Forget the Europa, forget the Carabao, forget the FA Cup. Next season, Arsenal fans are going to want trophies. And it's going to become a trophy game. Champions League. No one's resting in the Champions League. No. Saka, you're playing. They're saying he's tired now. Champions League.
And to think, yeah, we've got like players who have played almost 50 games this season, and it only gets worse when you're, actually challenging for these trophies and stuff. I think for Arteta, I've looked at this season and thought, what an incredible manager he is, because to galvanize that team and to actually be the surprise package of the season in terms of challenging for the league. At one stage, it definitely looked like I thought they were going to win. Yeah, and I was losing sleep. I was going to say like definitely losing sleep. But now it's a thing. I think this is a wake up call. I feel like with Arsenal and Arteta, they're gonna be with each other for a very long time, and to get to this close, even though it's like you said, they've been there for 93% of the season, there's still some positives to take from this. Like, they did throw everything away for this, but this is a learning curve now. And a lot of the players, this will hurt them seeing Man City lift the trophy and seeing all the other teams, progress well in other competitions. Yeah,
it's down to at this stage, as I keep saying, it's down to the manager at this point now. I think he's got to find a way to remotivate them, to also not make them think, oh, because you guys came second, you're all safe here. No, he needs to go and be looking at it like, what can I do? Remember when we didn't win the league? Man United didn't win the league in 2011-12, Aguero moment.
Worst day of my whole... Bro, I'll never forget that day.
The worst.
Yeah, ever.
The worst.
Forget that day.
Bro. But what did Fergie go and do? He said, he walked in there and he said to the players, remember this feeling. Remember how you guys feel right now, because you don't want to be feeling like that next season. What did he do? Give me Van Persie. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to sail into the sunset in retirement. That's something that Arteta needs to do. Go in there, shake it up. Tell them, remember how you lot felt after Etihad. Remember how they made you feel like small boys. I just saw Pep talking, saying, wow, Arsenal, they're so good. What a season they're having. Listen, they just won the biggest trophy and that's getting back into the Champions League. I'm like,
it's violation.
He's boying it.
But this is the thing though,
he's boying it.
I think it's more down to like the fan base. I feel like as football has changed, so has social media, and everything is now all together as one, they see everything. I'm sure they see the fans, you see how the players are, the comments after the game and so on and so forth. So Pep has been here. He is a vet when it comes to this. This is his era.
Yeah, it is.
Like you said, it is his era. Like this is his era. So I feel like what Arteta and Arsenal can learn from this is that it's never done. Every game is a final, and I think they took the foot off the gas and they've had to severely, feel that. And now they'll learn from it. I don't think Arsenal, this is done. I think they will be able to challenge. But going on to who they faced, actually, Chelsea. Jesus now, Lord. I've tried to understand what is going on with Chelsea. I think Roman Abramovich leaving was a massive, massive, massive dent in how the club has been run over the last 10 years. They've got new owners in, bought a lot of players, and had 3 different managers so far this season.
Jeez.
In your
4 even, don't forget Bruno.
So
he
4,
got them a little draw.
4. So 4 managers.
4 points to Lamps.
No, this is the point. Lamps hasn't won a damn game. So where do you see that it's going wrong, and how do you see it getting better? Because money's not a problem. It's just the players and I guess the managers that they're appointing.
Honestly, Chelsea's situation is so confusing because you look at their squad and you think there's some talent there. You know what I mean? João Felix, Enzo, Kovacic, Kante, Fofana, Thiago. So you look at that and you think, I could take some of them at Man United. I could take some of them at this. But I don't know what's going on. Like, for me, we all know about, okay, the manager's not good enough. We know that. The situation is probably now there is at a place where it's like, season's over, forget about it. But can some of these players have some professional pride? Can some of these players have some professional pride, please? Because you're looking at them. I was watching even Kova. I like Kova, but I was looking at him for 2 goals. He was just ball watching. Didn't press nothing. Then Xhaka just done that little pass in. Goal for Odegaard for the 2 goals. No one's running hard enough. No one's making themselves available enough. Sterling had a really poor game, but he's getting on the ball. No options.
There's no.
It's just like, get the ball, try dribble through 6, please, and let's make something happen. They're all playing as a bunch of individuals now. And okay, manager should come in with some structure and some idea. But I'm sorry, with all due respect to Frank Lampard, players like Thiago Silva, Aspi, all these men, they've already worked under you. You got sacked. They probably were dissing you, like he's not good enough. And then you come back. You really think that's going to G up?
Yeah, I've always felt like the appointment of Lampard was very like, there was no fault behind it.
None at all.
Because he's failed and he's done what he can do. He's gone to Everton and it's the same situation. I think it was more because of who he is as a player for the club more than his management skills.
Go and get some ex-pro.
I think even down to like, forget the appointment of the manager. The players that they've bought, for me, it doesn't even make sense.
120 million.
Players are signing 8-year contracts, and I just feel like as a club, these are the signs of a club that could potentially go the opposite way that they're trying to go to, because of the infrastructure is not making no sense at all. And like you mentioned as well, you see certain players who have left because Lampard was in control. Rudiger. He had to go because he was like, this ain't working for me.
Jorginho, when he left, absolutely dissed him. He said he wasn't ready for the club.
So it's like they've brought that back, and that meant the mentality. I think as a man, I've never played professional football, but I'm sure a reason why some players do really well is because they respect the manager, number one, and the manager develops them. I don't think any player under Lampard right now is being developed. Mudryk has signed, we should have went to Arsenal, has signed, and hasn't even hit the ground running. He had 1 good performance against Liverpool, which was a sub cameo.
Against 39-year-old Milner.
And for me, it's just like, I agree with what you're saying. It's just like the whole infrastructure is a mess, and I don't see it getting any better with just a manager. I don't think a manager changes it. Personnel needs to go.
They're trying to bring in Pochettino in the.
What's your views on that? Because Poch is a proven Premier League manager with Tottenham, and obviously his situation ended bad because of the relationship with the board and stuff. But do you think it's a great appointment, and do you think he has the skills to, I guess, change the mentality of the club?
I think it's a good appointment, to be honest. Like, I didn't want Pochettino for Man United, but I think it's a good appointment for where Chelsea are right now. Pochettino's been at a club in Spurs that probably picked them up from a similar situation, even with all due respect, even to Southampton as well. He's a manager that has shown he can take you from mid-level to the top. Now, not to win trophies yet, but he can take you from mid-level to being a very competitive team. And that's what Chelsea need. They need to just become competitive. They need a manager that's going to demand respect. I think Pochettino can. They need a manager that's going to say, all right, how am I going to play to the strengths of my team? And that's what he often does. You look at the teams that Pochettino has managed, it's not always like you look at it and you say, that's a Pochettino side, especially on the pressing side of things. But he adapts to each player. So they've got like 30 players in the squad right now. He's going to need to see, who have I got? Who's my trusted men? And I'm going to make my formation, my style to you. And I think that's what they need. And also, he's got a proven track record of working with younger kind of guys. And this Chelsea team are getting younger and younger. And I think Bowley and Igbali, whatever his name is, are trying to bring in even more young players. So that is their plan. So I think Pochettino is actually a good appointment. Now, is he the manager that's going to now take Chelsea to win Champions Leagues again, Premier Leagues? I have my questions about that. You know what I mean?
Hands up,
I don't know about that, yeah. But in terms of just getting that respect back to Chelsea,
yeah,
I think it's a good appointment. Like, do you know what? A lot of teams, like, if you look at Spurs, they make the mistake of overestimating their level. Spurs went and got a Jose. Why? Because we want to win now. They went and got Conte. Why? Because when your team was never ready for that.
Yeah, 100%. You don't have the personnel.
It doesn't make sense for Chelsea to go and get a manager that's, let's say Chelsea went and got Allegri. Yeah, I like Allegri. But let's say they went and got Allegri who come in, win now. This team's not ready for that.
Too much pressure as well.
Go and get a manager. I hate the words, but phases, process, project. That's Pochettino for you, man. 4 Ps.
But even if you look at some of the best teams that are now, in control of the Premier League, like for example Liverpool, when Liverpool took, imported Klopp, it took them time, and Klopp wasn't like a star manager. He I think if anything, Liverpool has been the team where he's just stamped his credibility.
He did work at Dortmund.
I mean, but it's
everyone says Bundesliga.
Yeah, I know, but it's like sometimes managers when they transition from the Bundesliga to other teams doesn't work, and it definitely works for him. Even Pep's first season. So I think the process aspect of it, yes, it's a cliche word, but it's definitely needed in this situation because the infrastructure is there in terms of you've got the players, you have the money, you have an owner who doesn't know when to stop spending.
Yeah.
So that's like a dream for most managers. Is that? But my point is, does any manager that has been in control of Chelsea since Bowley's taken over said, I want this player and it's been bought? Or do you reckon it's been him buying or the director of football if they have any?
I think it's been all at board level.
Yeah.
I think it's been all at board level. People tried to say, Potter did approve of this, but I never really bought into that. Do you know what I mean? I think everyone that Chelsea have brought in, except from maybe that Fofana guy that came from Genk or something. No, not Genk, came from Molde. He was linked to Brighton back in the day. So maybe that was a Potter kind of pull. But in terms of the rest of them, I do think it was all Bowley and Egbali. Do you know what I mean? So now they still got the Brighton or ex-recruitment team that they had because they brought Potter through. So they're going to have to probably all get together and work. But again, Pochettino is a manager. And yes, that he's worked with DOFs and stuff. But I think he's going to walk into this Chelsea situation and be like, I don't want to get ruled. Do you know what I mean? Because the board are walking into the changing room every game, having sit downs with the players, undermining the manager pretty much. Pochettino's going to have to go in and be like, nah, I ain't having none of this. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're getting disrespected in front of your players by your owner, how
then it's done.
It's done. You're going to lose the respect. They're just going to be like, do you know what? I'm not going to go Poch. I'll just go to talk to Bowley. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to have that player power kind of situation. So I think that's what Pochettino, if he does become the manager, needs to go and do. Stop letting... Okay, every team have a recruitment team, but don't make it their be all or end all. And I think that's what Chelsea has been with the recruitment so far.
Speaking of recruitment, a team that doesn't play games with that is Man City. They seem to be, like you said, you mentioned it previously on your show about how, it is their era. And for me, at one stage, we all thought, like I said, Arsenal was going to win the league. I felt like this was going to be Man City's season where they maybe fall off a little bit, but we clearly didn't know nothing. And then they've just been on a supreme run. How good are the City team? And is there any team currently that you see that can stop them? And as United fans, it burns me to say this because I've been watching, this has changed my whole view of football because they've just been winning it. But how do you feel like City are right now? Is there anyone that can stop them?
Bro, it's scary. It's scary. They're on the treble hunt. Listen.
We can stop them though. We can stop them.
That's the thing.
The FA Cup final, we can stop them.
United have the opportunity to stop them. Man. But the worst nightmares are coming true in this era. We've seen, as a United fan, we've seen Liverpool win the league. We never thought we were going to see that. Arsenal almost even won the league. Man City dominated. Now the treble is under threat. This Man City team, for me, let's forget about the treble for now. Just in the Premier League, in English football, they're unstoppable.
Yep.
They are unstoppable, right? And as you mentioned, I said it on my other show, but they have a GOAT manager, a generational manager. Yeah, I mean, we had Fergie. Liverpool had Bob Paisley and all these type of guys. There's no stopping these type of gaffers, especially that you've got the most money, you've got the infrastructure. Above his two of his best friends are the ex-Barcelona directors of football and stuff are part of it. You have an active owner. You have a club that don't only care about the pitch, they care about the whole football club. I went to the Etihad for the Arsenal game. Bro, I got there, there's cafes, there's spaces for disabled football, there's Astros, there's music,
even the environment shows around the stadium is invested in.
It was different. I was like, Old Trafford needs to catch up. Do you know what I mean? In all due respect, this club have been ambitious from day one, and everything they've planned for has come to fruition. And now they're in a situation where if Pep Guardiola stays, which he pretty much is going to stay, I don't see who can stop these guys. Because I was looking at them and thinking, okay, Arsenal are doing really well. Even if Arsenal won the league this season, let's just say they did, City will win it next season if they needed to. That is the problem. In terms of dominating, I can't see anyone dominate. Same way I couldn't see anyone dominating Alex Ferguson and Man United. I cannot see anybody stopping Man City. You're looking at their play. They just signed Erling Haaland,
I know.
He's got 50 goals. He's a generational talent. He's a generational scorer. 50 goals. He's already got the Premier League record.
Do you know what's so crazy? I looked at last season and I watched the way City play without a striker and how dominant they were. And I always said if they get the right striker, because they wanted Harry Kane, I was like, all they need is a striker in order to just complete the transition of how much they're going to control the league. And they've done that with Erling Haaland. Even when he has had his dry spells where he had, I think he didn't score for like 4 games or whatever, they still had players who were scoring. Jack Grealish has been playing incredible on that left-hand side. Bernardo Silva, a player who was supposed to leave a few seasons ago, is just showing his worth as well. Akanji, Ake, Stones, Diaz is now back. Rodri's been incredible. So it's just like they've done it again. When they had Fernandinho, they had Yaya Toure. They've gone and done it again with a new team, younger players, mixed with some experience as well. So it's like no other team is of that level. We're looking at a Liverpool team who are getting older now. They've exhausted all they could out of the players that they have. Man United, we're building, so it's going to take us a few more seasons to get there. This was Arsenal's opportunity, and Chelsea are, where they are right now as well. So basically confirm what you said. It's hard to see a team dominate them, but what is beautiful about it is that I really, really enjoy watching them play. You see how they, against Arsenal, how they changed the way they play, but was still effective. Now they play 3 different styles in the game depending on how the game is going. That for me is a manager who has not only clocked the game, but understands his players and they understand what they want from him.
And you look
what he wants from them, sorry.
And you look at, what was Pep Guardiola always known for? He was known for tiki-taka, possession, small, agile players. Bro, this City team are huge.
Everyone's in the gym.
Bro,
everyone's pure gym membership is premium. It's premium plus, bro.
Akanji's calves, he was right in front of where I was sitting. This guy is a monster, bro.
He's off.
Bro, he was small boy in soccer, and then he was even like, do you know what? I'm going to drive with the ball and run because no one can stop me. They are huge. Like, you mentioned their squad. Apart from Bernardo that you said, who's a very intense player, but apart from him, and let's say Gundogan probably, them men are 6 foot plus, nearly all of them. Jack Grealish is a big guy.
He is. And he's strong as well.
He's strong
very,
guy.
Very strong.
He's an athletic guy. So that team, it's funny how Pepper just quietly transitioned them to a tall, technical, athletic, bullish team.
It's like it's gone back in, like back in the day, it was the big players are out now.
Some people are saying that it's kind of like, some people are saying it's similar to the Fergie's best teams.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, it kind of is. Like, we had a big team, fast, strong, crazy strikers, efficient. They are more like that now than they have ever been, Man City. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that Man United was a blueprint, but for example, our 07-08 team, big, strong, physical team. And that's what this Man City team are. So now, even like if you go back to the Invincibles and stuff, they can pass you off the park and they can bully you off the park. There's hardly any answer to them.
There's no wins in that situation. So we mentioned about the treble. How far can City go this season? Do you reckon, obviously we are United fans and we do hope that we can beat them in the final, but in reality, anyone would say that is City's game to win. And then of course they've got Real Madrid in the semi-finals.
Pray for Real Madrid.
Yeah, no, we have to.
You have to pray for Real Madrid.
Yeah, because what I saw, what I saw against Bayern Munich was Bayern Munich, who have always been the team to beat, and this season in the Champions League have been really, really good. They got schooled, home and away. What are your views on Real Madrid? And is that going to be the game that confirms whether or not they'll win the treble?
If they beat Real Madrid, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah. Listen. We have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
I can't see it. I can't see us doing it. I can't see us beating them, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Real Madrid's the one, because Real Madrid prove every single year you need to get through us if you even think about winning the Champions League.
That is their trophy.
It's their trophy. It's the heritage. You know what I mean? Real Madrid are Champions League heritage. We saw what happened to them last season. Somehow they came back
against
late.
every single team.
Every single team. They got some different spirit in the Champions League. That's the final answer, bro. I'm telling you,
that's the final boss.
There's no way Man City get through Real Madrid
and lose to one of the Milan teams
and make it slip. No, they know this is tunnel vision now. Like you have to get through this team. Benzema's on good form. Vinny's on good form. We know Luka Modric is gonna be there. He does it. Oh no, you know what? Apparently he might be even injured. There's a rumor that
Vinny?
Modric, which is peak. But they have experience. We're just talking about Premier League experience with Man City. Real Madrid have Champions League experience. They actually have way more than that, than obviously Man City. So they're gonna have to use that to their advantage. But it's very, very, very gonna be a tough one. But if Real Madrid if Man City get through them, I think the trouble's completed, bro.
Well, I think the trouble's completed. I think that's when you start seeing me crying on social media. If you see me crying on social media, I'm not going through anything. It's just Man City have taken over.
The funny thing about it all is that the Premier League will probably be wrapped up. Then it's the FA Cup final on the 3rd of June or something. And then it's the Champions League final on the 10th. So, you know what I mean? We could really just end all hopes of that and just sit back. But if we go and lose,
it's adding fuel to the fire.
We're there praying on what? AC or Inter?
Impossible. Lukaku brace or Lukaku. But anyway, that's all we have time for today. This has been the Inside Scoop. I've been HarryPinero. This has been Culture Cams. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please let us know in the comments. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you can see more content coming your way, man. Peace.